And I think that's why I was pushing for this marry me or move on, because I wanted to have a baby already.
In marriage.
Yeah, and that's how I was pushing, because I never wanted to have a baby outside of wedlock. So I think that's how I was pressurizing him. I was like, when are we getting married so I can have my baby? So now that I have my baby, it's like, I'm joking, but
She's not joking. See, you keep playing around with her, you're going to find out. Listen, Nketeko and Khanya, let me do this now. Listen, when you give the serpent room to become the dragon, don't complain when the dragon now chews you up and spits you out. You understand what I'm saying to you, right? When you give the serpent the time to become a dragon and you let it transform and evolve, don't complain at the end when it becomes what it becomes. What I mean by this is in the sense of Nketeko and Khanya, right? And are, for me, toxic couple, right? Toxic couple that are usually, you see, people have experienced this. If you've got a friend or a family member, they've gone through something like this. It's very, very familiar, right? But it's, in this case, it's her being the one that's very toxic, and toxic in the sense of abusive and physically and verbally abusive. We've seen her verbally and physically accost him on this show. So now y'all got a little baby, 3-month-old baby. By the grace of God, listen, hey, we got to make it work, right? And I get it. In his mind, he's probably thinking to himself, I got to make it work. I've got a 3-month-old baby now. This is a girl that I love. She's a little bit toxic, but don't worry about it. We'll make it work. So you're going to make all the excuses in the world. But the reality of the situation is you're now tied forever. And I don't want to hear that my ex-crazy baby mother comments coming out later on. Because in reality, you actually saw it, Nketeko. You saw what she was like. And this is what men will do. And they'll be like, she's crazy, she's crazy. No, you know she's crazy. When you started dating her, she was crazy, bro. You know when you started dating her that she was off the rocker, right? But you chose to go and enter into a fray with her. Nketeko has actually been blessed because he had a 3-week program where he had time away from his girlfriend, right? And he got to see through the lens of not just his own self, but other people and what they thought about his girlfriend. Then his mother got involved, and still everybody's telling you the same thing, but instead, Nketeko is taking his own route. Now, having a child is very difficult because what it does mean is that now you're going to have to find a way to communicate and co-parent. And I'll be honest with you, by the way that she's dealt with you, it's more than likely if you do break up with her, this could be easily one of those cases where you don't see your children for a few years. Easily. Right? So I can see also why he might be a little bit afraid to also make a step in the right direction by saying, actually, does this relationship actually work for me? Does this relationship actually serve me? Does this relationship actually, is this relationship actually one for me? Right? It's crazy in the dunya. That's what I'm gonna say. It's crazy in the dunya. Yeah, it's crazy. But listen, we're gonna talk some more. We're gonna put this, but let's get deep, man.
Deeper.
Hey guys, what happened? You grabbed your merchandise already? Sit on the bench and heal, baby. Sit on the bench and heal. Okay, all right. And so listen, this is what Nketeko needs to be. He needs to sit on the bench and heal. And if you are somebody that can identify with Khanya and Nketeko in any sort of way, then maybe you need to sign up for the coaching as well, all right? Because we need to be able to help you. This situation, let's play a little bit more of the clip and we'll talk some more as well, right?
How has motherhood changed you?
I don't know, it's just brought so much joy to my soul, and I'm just so in love with my baby, and I think it's made Nketeko and I a lot closer. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Now, here's a issue we're gonna find. Here's a bigger issue we're gonna find, right? The bigger issue is that she was abusive to you before the baby. She said to us all, she let us know that, you know what, that reason why she was pushing marriage so much because she wanted to have a baby and didn't want to have it outside wedlock. Well, then that means she didn't really want the marriage. What she wanted was the safety of the marriage to then have the baby because she wants things done in a particular way, which is cool. We all understand that. But the reality of the situation is we saw her behavior outside before she got married. And now she's not married now. But now she's got a baby. What's to stop her from doing that to you again? Now she's got what she wants. What's to stop her from alienating you from the relationship with the baby? Oh, you thought that it was going to stop? Oh, you thought that the person would change because it's going to be a baby? You thought it was going to get better? Right? If this was a man, we wouldn't even be looking at her like, sis, run out of there before you get killed. And rightly so, because a lot of those cases do end in a very bad way. But the reality of the situation is that with Nketeko and Khanya, that she's already showed you that she's ready to exploit you in a verbal, emotional, and physical way. And now we've got a kid, and the kid is what she actually wanted. Why? Because a lot of people, and like I said this before with Khanya, a lot of people are actually really broken, and their children become their possession. Their children become their clean slate. Mark this down the wall. Let me say it again. some people are so hurt and wounded from probably their own experience as being a child. They go one or two ways. They don't want to ever have kids, or they go the other way, which is their kids become their possession and actually become their surrogate partner, right? When I say surrogate partner, in the sense of they have a young boy now, right? How's she going to treat that young boy? Because the way you've been treating the father, it's mad. So how you going to treat the young boy? Potentially become a surrogate husband. Treat him in a way that you might be emotionally overbearing him. You might be saying things about your father to him. You might be trying to create alienation between the father and the young boy. I'm not saying it definitely is going to happen. I'm saying the things that could potentially happen because we've seen a behavior already that's mad. And if the person can't handle themselves with a grown-ass adult, they're gonna be emotionally bleeding on a young child too. In fact, a child becomes a place of warfare for a lot of people. Right? Your dad ain't this, your mom ain't this, your dad ain't this, your mom ain't this. And that child becomes emotionally, that child when they're growing up, and this is really important, child rearing development, because what can happen is that a child growing up should not be involved in the affairs of their parents when it comes to a relationship. Should not be. It should not be. And so if that child is now involved in the relationship in a way that a parent is overstepping boundaries with that child by saying things about the other parent, you are causing that child turmoil because the child is having to choose between one of the two. I love you, daddy. I love you, mommy. But now mommy's telling me this, or daddy's telling me this. But specifically talking about Khanya because she's the one that's broken the rules, right? So now that child has a boundary been broken. Sometimes we treat children as a possession. You want that child to love you so much because your parents didn't love you, or you never loved the father of your kids never loved you the way you want them to love you. So now you're looking for all that affection in that child, and what ends up happening is control. And when that child doesn't love you or is no longer controlled by you, it's no longer underneath your thumb, it's no longer now he has his own mind when he gets about 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. When they get to that place where they have their own mind and they want to do their own things. Now, he doesn't love me the way he used to love me. Then you're trying to hold on even tighter to that child. Or you push that child completely away emotionally. If you're a child, if you've experienced this, where your parent was great at the beginning and suddenly detached from you as you got older, the reason being is because they thought you were a possession, not their child. And I don't mean that in a bad way. What I mean in the sense of they hadn't got themselves in an emotional, mature place. So you became their source of happiness through when you obeyed them. The moment you became disobedient, or the moment that you decided you were going to be your own adult, your own individual, your own person, the parent couldn't step up anymore because now you no longer fitted the role they wanted you to play, which was be in that space where you provide me my joy. They don't have it within themselves. And so now you're no longer in a space of being that obedient little kid who just looks up to them and idolizes them for anything. They're like, oh no, that child can now finally see me for who I really am. The same thing they had with their partner in the first place. Listen, is this something you've been going through? Parental issues, we deal with that as well. If you're going through a situation where the parent is toxic, or you feel like your parent, you and your parent are not having the best of communications, reach out to us, man. We will definitely be able to help you guys have conversations, build up your strength, build up your boundaries, build up your ability to communicate as well and express yourself, and do the great work before you get into actual relationship. If you are in a relationship, we can help with that too, right? So click on our description box down below. Sign up to the coaching as well. We're booked up to like June. Again, it's not free, but it is always that you can pay according to whatever you feel the service is worth. Okay, and don't forget, listen, make sure you grab your merchandise. Listen, look, sit on the bench and heal. Don't play with me. Okay, we did it so that you guys didn't have to. Okay, sit on the bench and heal. It's finally here. We appreciate you guys. Still locked, still loaded. We'll see you again very soon for another video. Much love.